Naya, a mysterious girl living in the village of Karu, captivates everyone with her gentle beauty while keeping her distance, hiding a significant secret. Kieran, a young merchant drawn to her, tries to get closer but is pushed away by the mysteries and the curse surrounding her. As their relationship develops, an event in the forest leaves Kieran terrified, causing him to disappear from the village, leaving Naya alone to grapple with her solitude and the inner conflict of whether she can live between two worlds. And what awaits Naya next? Stay tuned for episode 2 to find out. The morning sun streamed through the leafy canopy, casting a warm glow over the bustling market of Karu. That day, as Naya busily arranged her baskets of fresh, vibrant fruit, a stranger appeared. He was tall, refined with deep, captivating eyes and a warm, genuine smile. This was Caleb, a travelling cloth merchant from a distant village, arriving with rolls of colourful silk in tow. When Caleb's eyes met Naya's, he found himself unable to look away. She wasn't just beautiful. She exuded an air of mystery that defied explanation. With a basket of radiant fruit by her side, she seemed like a living painting, gentle, serene, yet cloaked in an aura of untouchable distance. Caleb hesitated for a moment before stepping forward, his smile soft but sincere. "Hello, I'm Caleb," he said, his voice steady yet filled with intrigue.
I came to Karu to sell my cloth, but it seems the most beautiful thing here isn't my wares, it's your stall.
Naya's cheeks flushed faintly, though her smile remained calm and measured. "Thank you, Caleb," she replied, her tone polite but warm. "I'm Naya. What can I help you find for your journey?" Their conversation began as simply as that, but for Caleb, that moment marked a turning point. He knew instantly that Naya was unlike anyone he had ever met. From that day on, Caleb became a regular visitor to the market. Each time he brought small tokens, a soft silk scarf, a simple yet elegant hairpin, or even just a humorous story from his travels. Every visit was accompanied by sincere words that revealed the depth of his admiration. "Naya, you're unlike anyone I've ever met. There's something about you that makes me want to know more, to understand you better." At first, Naya kept her distance. The wounds of her past were still fresh, etched deeply into her heart, but Caleb's patience and warmth gradually chipped away at the walls she had built. He never pressured her to open up. He simply stayed by her side, ready to listen whenever she was willing to share. One quiet afternoon, as the market began to empty, Caleb finally voiced the question that had been weighing on his mind. "Naya, would you consider starting a new life with me? I don't know your past, but I want to be by your side, to build a future together." Naya's heart swelled with emotion, but it was quickly followed by a surge of fear. Her eyes betrayed the turmoil within her, as if shadows of the past had returned to haunt her. I need time to think, Caleb," she said softly, her voice tinged with uncertainty. Caleb didn't push. He simply smiled, his expression unwavering in its kindness. "Take all the time you need, Naya. I'll wait as long as it takes." After Caleb left, Naya sat quietly at her stall, her gaze fixed on the distant mountains at the edge of the horizon. His proposal filled her with both hope and anxiety. She had never dared to dream of building a life with someone else, especially while her secret remained an unshakable burden. In her mind, the warnings of her parents echoed clearly. "You don't belong in the human world, Naya. If your secret is revealed, they will never accept you. Don't let yourself get hurt." But at the same time, Caleb's genuine eyes and sincere words stirred something within her. For the first time in what felt like forever, she began to wonder if she might not be entirely alone after all. In the days that followed, Caleb made no mention of Naya's decision. Instead, he continued to spend time with her, learning about the small, everyday details of her life. He would arrive at the market early in the morning, helping her arrange her fruit baskets and chatting with her about the customers who stopped by. He shared tales of his travels, dusty roads, far-off villages, and the friendships he had forged along the way. Naya listened intently, and with each passing day, she found herself feeling lighter in his presence. Caleb never asked about her past or tried to pry into the hidden corners of her heart. One quiet afternoon, she finally asked him the question that had been lingering in her mind. "Caleb, why are you so kind to me?" He looked at her, his smile as gentle as the fading light of day. "Because I believe everyone deserves happiness, Naya, and I want to be the one to bring that to you." Caleb's words were like a tiny flame, lighting up a corner of Naya's guarded heart. Though her worries still loomed, she couldn't deny the warmth she felt when she was with him. For the first time, she allowed herself to consider the possibility of a new beginning, a life no longer bound by the shadows of her past or her invisible fears. But could her secret truly remain hidden forever? And would the bond between her and Caleb be strong enough to weather the trials ahead? As the days stretched on, these questions lingered like an unanswered melody, casting both hope and uncertainty over the fragile connection growing between them. The day Caleb proposed to Naya, the sky seemed brighter than ever. He had planned everything carefully, choosing a picturesque spot by the stream near Karu village, where sunlight filtered through the trees, creating a scene that sparkled like a fairy tale. Caleb knelt on one knee, his eyes glowing with sincerity. "Naya, you are the most wonderful thing that has ever happened to me. I don't care about your past or the secrets you keep. I only want to be with you, to build a new future together. Naya, will you marry me?" Naya froze. Her heart felt like it was being pulled in two directions. One part of her longed to say yes, to be loved and live like an ordinary person. But another part was paralyzed by fear. Her secret, the curse that had followed her from her past, would never allow her a life of true happiness. Yet, when she looked into Caleb's eyes, she felt a flicker of hope. With a trembling voice, Naya nodded and whispered, "Yes, I will." Caleb laughed joyfully and wrapped her in his arms, but their happiness was short-lived, for a greater challenge awaited them. The following day, Caleb brought Naya to his home to meet his family. His house, nestled in the heart of a larger, bustling village, was warm and inviting. Yet as Naya stepped inside, she was overcome by a strange feeling. Instead of a warm welcome, she was met with the cold, scrutinizing gaze of Caleb's mother, Eliza. Eliza was a strong, sharp-witted woman. Her piercing eyes seemed capable of seeing straight into a person's soul. When she saw Naya, her gaze narrowed, as though trying to uncover something hidden. Before Caleb could even introduce them, Eliza spoke, her voice cold and commanding. "There is something off about this girl. I can feel a darkness around her." Her words struck Naya like a dagger. She stood frozen, a chill running down her spine. Caleb quickly interjected, his voice tinged with shock and confusion. "Mother, how could you say such a thing? Naya is the woman I love and she's completely normal." But Eliza was unmoved. She stepped closer to Naya, her sharp gaze cutting through her like a blade. "Normal? No, Caleb. A person like her cannot be normal. I don't know what it is, but something is deeply wrong, and this family does not welcome secrets." Naya couldn't speak. She knew Eliza wasn't wrong. No matter how hard she tried to hide her secret, the curse clung to her like an unrelenting shadow. Her hands trembled slightly, but she forced herself to stay calm. Turning to Caleb, she silently pleaded for his support. But despite his love for her, Caleb couldn't defy his mother. He hesitated, his voice faltering. "Naya, my mother is just concerned. We can convince her, we just need more time." But time couldn't erase the curse. Naya knew this better than anyone. The sting of rejection welled up inside Naya, bringing with it the pain she had tried so hard to forget. She looked at Caleb, the man she had pinned her hopes on, but now he stood there, powerless. "Caleb, you don't need to try anymore," she said, her voice trembling yet resolute. "I don't want to be a burden to you or your family. I've grown used to being alone." "Naya, no! We can get through this together," Caleb pleaded, stepping forward to take her hand. But Naya stepped back, tears streaming down her face. "No, Caleb, you don't understand. There are things beyond our control, and I don't belong here." Naya left the house, leaving Caleb behind, along with all the fragile hopes for a happy future. She walked quickly through the village, feeling the weight of countless unseen eyes watching her, silently judging her. Deep down, she knew she couldn't escape the truth. The curse was an inseparable part of her, a shadow that refused to fade. And every time she tried to build a new life, that darkness would return, driving her away from the people she loved. Beneath the cold light of the moon, Naya whispered to herself, "Perhaps happiness was never meant for someone like me." That night, Naya walked along the path leading into the forest, where the darkness seemed to swallow every ray of light. The village market of Karu had become a distant memory, and her heart was heavy with disappointment. This journey was not an escape, but a search. The ancient temple of Abara, hidden deep within the mystical forest, was whispered about among the villagers as the dwelling place of a powerful spirit. It was said that this spirit could grant blessings or curses, but only appeared to those who were truly sincere. With every step, whispers from the trees seemed to echo around her, blending with the howl of the wind through the leaves. Naya clutched her shawl tightly, her breath mingling with the cold night air. Though fear gripped her, she pressed on, for this was her last hope to break free from the curse that bound her. When she finally reached the temple, Naya froze in awe at its ethereal beauty. The intricately carved stone pillars, covered in vines and moss, glowed softly as if emanating light from the heart of the forest itself. At the center stood a grand altar, surrounded by flickering candles, seemingly untouched by human hands. Naya knelt before the altar, her trembling hands clasped together. She closed her eyes, feeling the breath of the forest around her, and prayed with all the sincerity in her heart.
Great Abara, please free me from this curse. All I want is to live freely and find true love.
I've endured enough. Tears streamed silently down her cheeks, falling onto the cold stone beneath her. The air grew unnaturally still, as if the entire forest were listening to her plea. Suddenly, a soft light emerged from the altar, spreading throughout the temple. A faint figure began to materialize, radiating an aura of majesty and indescribable power. It was Abara, the ancient spirit of the forest. Abara's voice resonated, deep and commanding, yet warm, as if it touched the very core of Naya's soul. "Naya, I have heard your plea. This curse is not easily lifted, for it is not only a chain, but also a lesson you must overcome." Naya lifted her head, her eyes filled with both hope and fear. "Please, Abara, help me. I am willing to do anything. I just want to live free, to love and be loved without fear." Abara was silent for a moment, then spoke again. "I can release you, but on one condition. You must never let anger control your heart. If you fail to keep your calm and compassion, the curse will return, stronger than before." Naya hesitated for a brief moment. She understood the storm of emotions within her. Anger and pain had consumed her many times before, yet she knew this was her one chance to change her fate.
I promise, Abara, I will control my heart. Please, free me.
Abara nodded, the light around the spirit glowing brighter, illuminating the entire temple. With a graceful motion, Abara raised a hand. A warm wind enveloped Naya, bringing with it a profound sense of relief she had never known. She felt the weight on her shoulders lift, as if an invisible chain had been severed. "The curse has been lifted," Abara said. "But remember, the true test lies ahead. Only by keeping your promise will you truly find happiness." As the light faded, Naya stood, feeling a profound transformation within herself. For the first time in years, she felt free, no longer shackled by the darkness of the curse. She bowed deeply in gratitude to Abara. "Thank you. I will not fail you." Abara disappeared, leaving Naya alone in the stillness of the temple. But this time, the silence wasn't oppressive. It carried a sense of hope, as if a new chapter was ready to be written. When Naya stepped out of the forest, the moonlight illuminated her path, and a faint smile graced her lips. Though challenges still awaited her, She now had a chance to create the life she had always dreamed of. After that fateful night at the Abara temple, when the curse was lifted, Naya returned to Karu village with a lighter heart, though doubts still lingered. Would the villagers accept her, or would the shadows of her past continue to haunt her? She wasn't sure, but she knew she had to try, for she had vowed to live a life free of fear. One afternoon, as Naya visited the familiar stream to fetch water, she spotted a man crouched by the water's edge, carefully filling a wooden bucket. He was tall with a gentle demeanour and warm, compassionate eyes. Sensing her presence, he looked up and smiled warmly. "Are you all right?" he asked, his deep, soothing voice breaking the stillness of the quiet surroundings. "You seem to have a lot on your mind." Naya froze for a moment. It had been so long since she felt genuine concern from someone. She smiled softly, masking the turmoil inside. "I'm fine, it's been a long day." He didn't press further, but the kindness in his gaze made her feel at ease. After a moment of hesitation, they began talking. His name was Daniel, a man from another village who had come to Karu seeking work. He spoke of his simple life, his days of farming, and the joy he found in the small, peaceful moments. Their encounters by the streams soon became more than mere chance. Daniel often stopped there, bringing light-hearted stories or small gifts, like a pretty leaf or a wildflower he had found along the way. Naya felt her heart slowly opening. Daniel didn't pry into her past, nor did he try to uncover the secrets she guarded so closely. He was simply there, ready to listen and share. One evening, as the crimson hues of sunset painted the sky, Naya hesitated before asking, "Daniel, aren't you curious about me? I know I seem a little different from the people of Karu." Daniel smiled, his gaze filled with sincerity. "Everyone has a past, Naya, but I don't care about what's behind you. I care about who you are now." His words were like a gentle breeze that soothed the deepest corners of Naya's soul, giving her a sense of safety she had never known. One day, as they strolled through a meadow blooming with wildflowers near the village, Daniel suddenly stopped. Turning to face her, his eyes held a mix of determination and tenderness. "Naya, you're the most beautiful thing that's ever happened in my life. I don't know if I can give you everything you deserve, but I promise to try my best to make you happy. Naya, will you marry me?" Naya stood stunned, her heart swelling with both joy and a flicker of fear. But this time, she refused to let her past hold her back. She smiled, tears welling in her eyes. "Yes, Daniel, I will." Their wedding was a simple yet joyous affair held in Karu's village square, under the golden sunlight, with the entire village as witnesses. Those who had once been wary of Naya now lined up to offer their heartfelt blessings. Naya wore a simple white dress, her hair adorned with a crown of wildflowers. Daniel couldn't stop smiling, his gaze never leaving her, filled with love and admiration. The villagers celebrated with songs, dances, and laughter that echoed through the air. No one remembered the old rumours or the shadows that had once surrounded Naya. Now, she was one of them, cherished and accepted. As night fell, Naya and Daniel sat together under a sky full of stars. Naya gazed upward, feeling a freedom she had yearned for her entire life. "Daniel," she whispered, "I never thought I could find happiness, but you've shown me that love can heal even the deepest wounds." Daniel gently held her hand, smiling as he replied, "Happiness isn't easy, but you deserve it, and I'll always be here to face whatever comes together with you." Naya smiled, knowing her journey had been more than just about breaking a curse. It had been a lesson in courage, forgiveness, and the true meaning of love. Naya's story reminds us that sometimes the hardest journey is learning to accept and forgive ourselves. What did you take away from her story? If you loved it, don't forget to like, share your thoughts in the comments,